Alright, good morning everyone. Welcome to this year Bible. It's fun, feeling good in those whites. Yeah. Been a while, right? Been a while of those online classes, but this is hands-on, right? This is it. So it's great to see all of you here. Again, it's a perfect time for the class, so I think it's going to be so much fun working together. Perfect. So just to give you a little heads up, every morning we're going to be having this. Can everyone hear me? Loud and clear? Awesome. So we're going to be having this every morning and towards the end of the class, right? It's just to kind of to just set the tone of what to expect for the day. And towards the end of the day, I'd like to kind of get some feedback from you on how your day was. Right? What worked really well for you, what didn't kind of work, just so that I can provide, so that we can all learn from each other. Right? That is the goal at the end of this. Perfect. So today's plan, right? Hopefully you got a chance to review some of the demos yesterday. Today what we're going to start doing is baking off the creme brulee, right? That's the first task that we're going to be doing. As your creme brulee is baking, and the baking time is going to vary between 30 to 45 minutes, right? So there's quite a bit of baking time in there. As you're waiting, you're going to work on your pastry cream, right? That's the second thing. You're going to need that pastry cream to fill some choux paste, to fill some cream puffs tomorrow, right? So you're going to work the pastry cream today, wrap it, and leave it in the fridge, so that when you come back tomorrow, it is nice and warm. So it is nice and cold, and it's easy for you to pipe it into the cream puff, right? Perfect. If you're really quick and you want to get ahead, right, you can start weighing ingredients for your choux paste, because that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. Right? We're going to be doing the cream puffs tomorrow. So if you want to give yourself a little head start, it would be great. If you don't get a chance, don't worry about it. It's not going to put you behind. And if you still have time left, right, you want to use that time to try and do some research, figure out what you want to do for your baked custard. Right. I have a textbook, my toolbox is here, I have a textbook that the baking students use that has all the recipes. So you can come see me and we can chat about it. Right. I can help you figure out what you want to do for your baked custard. Right. So that is the plan. Down here is my cell phone number, so if you ever feel like you are getting late or something's popping up, shoot me a text. It'll be the fastest way, the easiest way to get in touch with me. All right, because sometimes I don't, if I'm in class, I don't usually look at emails that often. So it's 403-434-0418. That's my number. Perfect. So, creme brulee. Anyone's baked creme brulee before? Show of hands? Yeah, it worked out every single time? Kind of mixed. How about you, Mila? Kind of?
Made it last year.
Made it last year? Okay. Did it work out great? Yeah, so creme brulee is one of those things where it's going to take a few attempts, right? If you think that today, first attempt, you're going to get the perfect creme brulee, it's not going to happen. Right? There's a good chance that it won't work out. So, don't take it to heart if it doesn't turn out. It just means we're going to go back and we're going to redo it. So, the recipe that is on D12 is going to give you 3 creme brulees, 3 pieces, 3 of these cups. 4 here, but I just need 3 of them. These cups are sitting right here on the shelf, so feel free to grab them. Right? So one recipe will give you 3. You're going to need an insert, because as we spoke in theory this morning, right? You need to make like a Ben Murray when you bake the creme brulee. So once you have your mixes done, you're going to place it in that, right? And you're going to put it in these hotel pans. Once you're ready to bake, you can come over, slide it here, and this is where you want to pour your water. Right? Try and avoid pouring your water on the table, because then you're going to have to walk it really carefully. So you come in over here, pour the water. Now, what I would suggest is place a sheet pan at the bottom, just so that it's easy for you to pull it up. Right? Again, speak to someone else. We've got 8 ovens. So we've got enough ovens today, which is great. So each one of you can just call dibs on one of the ovens, and that's your oven for the day. So you can use it as and when you wish. Right? So that really works out. Perfect. Now, when you do put the mix of creme brulee inside, something's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of foam, right? Depending on how much you whisk that liquid, you're going to see a lot of foam. If that foam goes in, what it does is essentially gives you false volume. So you're going to feel like, oh, I've got so much mix in there. But as it's baking, that air is going to go away, and it's going to just leave a very small amount of filling inside, right? So in order to get rid of that foam, what we're going to do is take a blowtorch, and we just kind of torch the top, just ever so lightly, so that air just escapes. So if you run into that situation where you have a lot of foam on your brulees, just let me know and I'll help you out with it. Right? I'll come over and I'll help you out. Perfect. thing is how to set the oven. Right. So this little oven over here, if you want to come a little closer, you can do that. If you can see, that is good. Perfect. So this one here is the on and off button. So if you ever come in and it's not turned on, well, you can turn it on yourself. That's the on off button. This one over here is the setting for the top temperature. Right? This oven has two heating elements, one at the top, one at the bottom. This one is the setting for the top temperature. It's at I've set it at 151 degrees Celsius. All these 8 ovens are in Celsius. So please keep that in mind. Right? So this one's set at 151 Celsius. I'll even set the bottom to 151 Celsius. Right? Ideally, try and keep them both the same. Sometimes if you just want to cook the top, you just want to give more color on the top, you can adjust the heat on the top and have that go higher. But otherwise, you want to ideally keep them both the same. Right? This over here is the timer. Right? So you can set as much time as you like on there. Ideally, I would say, if a recipe says bake something for 30 minutes, set a timer for 20 minutes. Right? Set a timer for a little bit less than what the recipe says. So that you can come in, you can take a look, and then you can gauge if you need to add more time. The reason why you don't want to just follow the time blindly is because you don't know how these ovens work. I don't know how these ovens work, right? I don't know how much heat they give up. So for that reason, it's better to just take that step back. Right? Once you're ready with the timer, you just want to hit start. Once you hit start, the cycle begins. And when it reaches the end of the time, it will beep. For your safety, I still suggest put a timer on your phone. Right? Because if that doesn't beep or someone turns it off accidentally, your product is going to be inside. Once the product's coming out, once it's baked and it's ready, right, what I suggest is move it on this rack over here. So this is going to be your cooling rack. Anything that you bake in the oven, take it out, leave it on there, let it cool. Yes, sir. Yes, we've got rags, and that's a great question. So there's oven mitts up here, right? And if you choose to use rags, it's in that white bin over there. There's also a bin right next to it for you to throw on the dirty rags. And that cart over there is just to place all your dirty bowls and whatever you don't need, whatever you need. Right? Awesome. So once your brulees are in, once they're baking, right, try and avoid the urge of going in and checking them every 5 minutes. Like, oh, is it done? Is it done? Is it done? Because you're just going to keep prolonging the baking time. Right? How do you know if your brulee is done? Right. So if when it's inside this, and when it's baking, if you just give it a gentle tap, right, you will see the top jiggle, almost like jello. Right? When you tap a plate of jello, you see how it jiggles? That's exactly the texture you're going to be seeing. If you give it a slight nudge, and you see ripples forming in it, something like when you throw a rock in the lake, you know how those ripples form? Right? If you see those ripples forming, it's not baked. Right? If you see it moving around, it's not baked. So I'm here, I will help you with it. Right? I will guide you with it. I'll give you an idea of like, oh, if you think it's kind of close, or if it still needs more time. Right? So I'll help you with that. Awesome. When you're putting water in this, guys, don't just put a tiny amount of water, because that is not going to help. You want to go at least halfway till the top. Right? Halfway till this inside. If you fill too much water when you're taking it out, that water there's gonna be a wave and it's gonna just go in. That's how it passes by there. It's pretty long. So if you have too much water, it's just gonna form a wave, go in, and it ruins your brulee at the end of it. So you put in all that hard work and now your brulee is done. Right? So that's something you want to keep in mind. Awesome. Any questions, folks? No questions? Okay, awesome. One last thing. So I've got all the dry ingredients on that table over there. For the creme brulee, ingredients you need is a cream, sugar, right? There is egg yolks,
vanilla,
and vanilla extract. Right? Sorry?
Yeah, no.
Okay. And vanilla extract. So vanilla extract is that orange bottle right there on that table, right? Egg yolks, we've got whole, so we've got fresh, we're going to be using fresh eggs. So you're going to have to separate the yolk out, right? They're sitting in the fridge. You can go in and grab some. Now, sugar is in the first bin over there. Perfect? Now, when you grab those egg yolks, right, you're going to have some egg whites. So what are we going to do with them? Are we going to throw them away? You don't want to throw them away, right? Because we're doing some macaroons, and we're going to need egg whites when we do those macaroons, right? So I'm going to start off a community bucket for egg whites. As you separate your egg whites, you can use some of those little deli containers, which are just sitting on the shelf over there. use those, and then we can come in and you can dump them in here. Right? At the same time, so when we do macaroons, we got egg whites. Right? So, perfect. That's a little bit about creme brulee. Next up is pastry cream. So for cooking your pastry cream, again, similar ingredients. You're going to need whole eggs, you're going to need egg yolks. Right? You're going to need cornstarch. Right? I'm going to figure out where cornstarch is, and I'll bring and leave it right on that table. Right? I should be there or on the shelf. So I'll find cornstarch for you. Apart from that, pastry cream, you're going to need to cook it with in a pot. Grab a whisk. Everyone has induction pans, induction ranges just underneath their tables. So you can pull those out and plug them in. Right? So those you get to use. I strongly suggest don't plug two inductions on one power outlet because it will trip. And it will shut down the system. So try and use one socket. Awesome. Once pastry cream is done, again, you are going to try and put it in a small, I would suggest use a small plastic container, the one that's not too tall. Right? Once the pastry cream is inside, please make sure you put some saran wrap over it, and the saran wrap touches the pastry cream. But if you don't touch it, if there's air in between, it's going to form a skin. And when you eat it, it won't really taste good. So I would recommend, hopefully we have enough. But something like this would be ideal. If you don't have enough of these, I'll find you something else. But that is what I would suggest we use. Right? Also, yeah, and then by about 3:15, 3:30, that is when we're going to start putting stuff away. We're going to start cleaning up. Right? So I know this is day one. That's why it's a little late down, because you have time to kind of work, time to understand, time to kind of see how it's going. Right? Work with the person in front of you. Like if they have questions, right? I'm walking around, so I'm going to be watching everything you do as well. So if I feel like, oh, maybe that's going to cause some problem, I will come in and I will just jump in and help you out. Right. Awesome. Questions? Everyone's excited? Let's do this. All right. So,